Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series on Savitri with our beloved Ranga. We are on page 2, beginning with the line, "A throe that came." A throe that came and left a quivering trace, gave room for an old, tired want unfilled, at peace in its subconscient moonless cave, to raise its head and look for absent light, straining closed eyes of vanished memory, like one who searches for a bygone self and only meets the corpse of his desire. It was as though, even in this noughts profound, even in this ultimate dissolution's core, there lurked an unremembering entity, survivor of a slain and buried past, condemned to resume the effort and the pang, reviving in another frustrate world. An unshaped consciousness desired light, and a blank prescience yearned towards distant change. As if a childlike finger laid on a cheek, reminded of the endless need in things, the heedless mother of the universe, an infant longing clutched the somber vast. Insensibly somewhere a breach began, a long, lone line of hesitating hue, like a vague smile tempting a desert heart, troubled the far rim of life's obscure sleep. Arrived from the other side of boundlessness, an eye of deity peered through the dumb deeps. A scout in a reconnaissance from the sun, it seemed amid a heavy cosmic rest, the torpor of a sick and weary world, to seek for a spirit, soul, and desolate, too fallen to recollect forgotten bliss. Intervening in a mindless universe, its message crept through the reluctant hush, calling the adventure of consciousness and joy, and conquering nature's disillusioned breast, compelled renewed consent to see and feel.
There are two ways of reading Savitri. One is we don't try to understand, but just read and let it sink in. That's one way. There is another way which may be, but we would like to understand also what the idea is, and so some amount of mental understanding also is needed. So that we will keep it down to a minimum, okay? But still, we'll see his imagery and the use of words and all that we will try and see.
And the mantric feeling that's in each line.
Yes. So basically, this canto, first canto, is the beginning of creation. And the beginning of creation, according to the Veda, is the darkness, the infinite darkness where there is no consciousness at all. But the beginning, there has to, this consciousness which is hiding in the darkness has to wake up. So there's a good deal of repetition of the whole idea throughout. Almost every line there is a repetition that although it is dark and dead and there is no life anywhere, there is no sense, no consciousness, nothing at all, it's a nihil, yet there is some sort of urge to come out of this. This is the basic idea. So he expresses that in beautiful poetry, and we have to try and get, this is the basic idea. So you will see almost in every line this idea is being given. There is a vast darkness, but out of the darkness is all because there is an involution, and in the involution Satchidananda has diminished itself and hidden in the opposite of itself. There's a word there, he says, the adventure of consciousness. So this is the adventure of consciousness, that consciousness plunges itself into its opposite and then slowly tries to find itself again. It sets a problem for itself and it is busy solving the problem. It is not satisfied with small problems. It wants to satisfy the biggest problem of all, the darkness, and out of the darkness comes the light. And not only light, but knowledge, power, bliss, everything, immortality. So this is basically, even today what we read, we just note that this is the idea, and he often does it with, Swami is so fond of oxymorons. And naturally this fits very well, because on the one hand, there is total unconsciousness, but there is a consciousness which is trying to get back. So it's an ideal field for using oxymorons. So we'll see each line and we'll see that this idea is repeated. Okay. A throw that came and left a quivering trace. So, what's a throw? A throw is a brief spasm, the beginning of life, or it can mean a intense pain or a violent pain. Normally it's used in the plural, throws. But here he has used it in a singular. Okay, a throw that came and left a quivering trace. So the throw is pain, but when there is no consciousness at all, there can't be any pain. So that's the consciousness trying to come out of the opposite of itself. So pain is there, and before that, the last sentence just before that, teased the inconscient to wake ignorance. It is urging it to wake up. It's as though this consciousness is sleeping, and some very small, tiny, powerless thing is poking it and saying, "Why don't you wake up? Why don't you wake up?" Teased the inconscient to wake conscious ignorance. To wake ignorance. Ignorance is sleep, but ignorance should wake up. So you can see the whole idea is always that. Then, a throw that came and left a quivering trace, just the beginning of something, just a faint beginning of the coming out of the darkness, gave room for an old, tired want unfilled. So, what is this old, tired want? The consciousness has come down here and it wants to go back to where it's a want. You want to go back to it. But as much as you try, it's not succeeding. So it is tired. This is the way he's putting it. It's very difficult for the consciousness to wake up in unconsciousness. So it has to necessarily be a very slow process. It is so slow that the effort is sometimes frustrated. That's the suggestion here. Gave room for an old, tired want unfilled. The want is not being fulfilled. At peace in its subconscious moonless cave. Again, the idea is the subconscious moonless cave, and there is a peace there. The peace can be positive, but right now it is negative. It is something static without movement. That's it. The word peace is interesting because it means no movement, and yet peace is often a very positive non-movement. So it's a suggestion that there is something there positive. At peace in the subconscious moonless cave, to raise its head and look for absent light. There is no light there, it is absent. But it is trying to look for that which it seems to have lost. The whole idea is again that there is the urge to go back to where it came from. Straining closed eyes of vanished memory. The memory of what I was, but that memory has vanished. So it's trying to get that back again. The beginning of creation. Like one who searches for a bygone self. Again, the same idea. You are looking for something which doesn't exist now and only meets the corpse of his desire. So, it is very interesting. So, the desire is there to get back to where it came from, but that desire is frustrated and only the outer form, the corpse, is there. It is dead. The desire is dead, but yet it is, both the ideas are there. There is a very difficult emergence, it is very difficult, and yet it is trying its best to come out. So, it was as though even in this knots profound, now this is Ramdo's English, profound, it's usually an adjective.
Yeah.
He seems to be using it here as a noun.
As a noun, yes.
Knots profound. Okay. Even in this ultimate dissolution's core, there you are. Ultimate dissolution. He is saying that the inconscient is the ultimate dissolution. And yet it is not ultimate. It's penultimate. There is something which is poking it to arise.
So here again we have, it was as though.
Yeah. What do you have?
It was as though, even in this naught's profound.
Yeah. It was as though. Yeah. Even in this not so. That's exactly it. As though. There is something there.
Not exactly,
yeah, that's
yes,
right.
yes.
Even in this ultimate dissolution core, there lurked an unremembering entity. Now, the word unremembering is very interesting. It means there is no remembrance. Yet he is putting the word remembering so that there is some sort of unremembering. It is trying to remember but can't remember. Again, the same idea of the darkness, but something trying to come out of it. The use of words all suggest that. No? So, survivor of a slain and buried past. So, it tallies very well with the corpse that he is talking about. So, he is carrying that image even to the next 3-4 lines. The corpse of his desire and survivor of a plain and buried past. Here also, there is an oxymoron. If it is buried and past, there can't be any survivor. So that's again the suggestion that the memory of what I was is gone, and yet something of it is surviving. All the sentences are indicating that.
So the buried past refers to the height it came down from.
That's right. Survivor of a slain and buried past. Consciousness has been slain and is fallen here. Ananda has been slain and become here the opposite of Ananda. So this is the slain. The supreme, the spirit has been slain and has become inconscious matter. Condemned to resume the effort and the pang. So there you are again. Even if it is condemned to keep trying, that's the suggestion. Condemned. Now, condemned is a very strong word. You have to try. That's the punishment you have. You have fallen down. Now get back to where you came from. Condemned to resume the effort. The effort of what? To come out of that unconsciousness. And the pang. Okay. Reviving in another frustrate world. Again, the world is frustrated, but still you have to go on trying. Reviving.
What does frustrate world mean?
You are frustrated when your desires are not satisfied. You are frustrated. So here is this attempt at coming out of unconsciousness. And so there is a frustration. And this world is the inconscience. That's what is meaning. Condemned to resume the effort and the pang, reviving in another frustrate world, an unshaped consciousness, desired light. Again the same idea, all put in different words and different. An unshaped consciousness. The consciousness has not yet been formed. It's a vague suggestion of consciousness without form. It's a amorphous consciousness. When consciousness is formed, it gets a certain power. But this is amorphous. It is spread out everywhere, just the unshaped consciousness.
Unshaped.
Yeah. Unshaped consciousness. Desired light. So there is a desire there for getting back to light from the darkness. and a blank prescience yearned towards distant change. Now, the word prescience is again that, na? So you are seeing the future. That's prescience. Na? And it's blank. Again, an oxymoron.
Oxymoron.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Blank prescience, but it is yearning towards what? Maybe today I won't succeed, but a distant change. Just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. All the lines suggest this. In fact, in poetry, that's exactly what he's doing. He's going on repeating the idea, and it is coming out one by one. The effort is on, but it is getting frustrated, but still it must go on. As if a childlike finger laid on a cheek, reminded of the endless need in things, the heedless mother of the universe. So, I'm not sure I understand what he means exactly, or what is the image, how it relates to the subject that we are having. A childlike finger laid on a cheek.
You have to go down to an infant longing. So this,
That's right.
And that's where you make the connection.
As if a childlike finger laid on a cheek, reminded of the endless need in things, the heedless mother of the universe. The heedless mother is supposed to be the mechanical nature in the physical world. At this level, nature is mechanical and unconscious. So heedless, doesn't care, doesn't do anything. It's just doing what it has to do mechanically of the universe. An infant longing clutched the somber vast. Now that's, it is related to that's right. An infant longing. So infant longing, the suggestion again is the longing is very, very small.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And that's right. And clutched the somber vast. Oh, that's why the finger laid on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Somber vast. The vast is all dark. It's a vast, infinite darkness. Okay. Insensibly, somewhere, a breach began. There you are. So the first results of this effort to come out, the first breach has been made. The breach
Insensibly.
That's right. Insensibly, somewhere a breach began. Insensibly. There is a breach, and yet it is not without senses. Senses will give you the knowledge of what you are there, but senses are still not there, but a breach has been made. Again, the opposite ideas. Okay, so interesting. Then, this is a long, lone line of hesitating hue. So, I'm using his poetic genius here. A long line,
yes.
Lone
line.
Yeah, long, lone line of hesitating hue.
And then he uses the two H's, hesitating
right.
hue.
3 L's and 2 H's.
Yes.
Sound effect. The long line, and it also suggests the length. Long, lone line. Na? What is it? The long, lone line of hesitating hue. The breach has been made and the color is slowly coming out.
Yes.
Okay, so, like a vague smile tempting a desert heart. Vague smile. The first breach has been made and there is some satisfaction and a smile is there. But it's a very vague and very, very small smile. And what is it?
Tempting a desert heart.
Tempting a desert heart. The desert heart again is the inconscience. There's a heart there, but it is a desert heart. Again, an oxymoron. There's no heart in a desert. The desert heart. So, and it is, the breach has been made, so it is encouraging it. Become more conscious, become more conscious. So, like a vague smile tempting a desert heart, troubled the far rim of life's obscure sleep. Life's obscure sleep. So life is there, but you see, far rim. There's just the beginning of life there. That's a breach that is being made. So, and it troubled when The unconsciousness is absolutely a tamasic unconsciousness. When it is asked to wake up, the tamas gets disturbed, so troubled.
So we go back to the line, a breach began.
That's right. It is connected
And
with
that breach and that long, lone line of hesitating hue, which is like a vague smile,
That's right.
troubled the far rim.
That's right.
Yes.
So it is troubling the so-called negative peace. Wake up. Yeah. Arrived, that's a full stop there. So arrived from the other side of boundlessness, an eye of deity pierced through the dumb deeps. Here again you have three D's, deity, dumb deeps. But arrived from the other side of boundlessness. The boundlessness is there infinite, and here the boundlessness is negative boundlessness. So from the other side it has come. That's what he's saying. It has come from the highest level. An eye of deity pierced through the dumb deeps. Deity suggests that there is some sort of Godhead. No? Deity.
Yes.
So that is there. An eye of deity pierced through the dumb deeps. A scout in a reconnaissance from the sun. Now, the sun is the highest spirit, and it is itself not coming down here. So it is as though it has sent a scout to find out what are the possibilities of getting up. Okay, so usually a scout is one who goes to see what are the possibilities in the enemy camp. So here the sun has sent a scout to see what's going on here. Let it wake up. The spirit is tempting matter to wake up. That's the suggestion. It seemed amid a heavy cosmic rest. Again, the heavy cosmic rest is the unconsciousness. The topper of a sick and weary world. Again, the same idea that the world here is sick and weary. It doesn't want to change. It's incapable of changing. To seek for a spirit, soul and desolate, too fallen to recollect forgotten bliss. Too fallen, the unconscious is so deep, and it is too fallen that it can't even recollect the forgotten bliss. The bliss that is there, it has forgotten. But now it is unable to even access that bliss. That's the whole idea. All the sentences and the lines are suggesting of that.
The unremembering entity.
That's right.
Too fallen.
Exactly. The unremembering is exactly this. Recollect. That's right. The two lines again are tallying. Unremembering entity. You will see that the structure, there is a interweaving of all the ideas and the lines. They keep repeating. So, too fallen to recollect forgotten bliss, intervening in a mindless universe. Again, the word mindless suggests no consciousness at all. So, that's its message crept through the reluctant hush, calling the adventure of consciousness and joy, and conquering nature's disillusioned breast, compelled renewed consent to see and feel. So, it is who is its message? Whose message? The sun. Okay, crept through the reluctant hush. Reluctant hush. The hush doesn't want to change. It wants to remain silent. It doesn't want to change. The unconsciousness doesn't want to wake up. But its message crept through the reluctant hush. The message of the sun has come. Okay, and calling the adventure of consciousness and joy. The adventure of consciousness, you are now sleeping. Wake up and go back to where it came from. That's the idea. And conquering nature's disillusioned breast. Nature here is unconsciousness, so it is disillusioned. I can't do anything. I am powerless. Compelled renewed consent to see and feel. The scout who has come, he has brought a message and is compelling the renewed consent. The consent is failing, again it has to be renewed. Again it has to be renewed. It's a continuous urge. So this is the suggestion. All the lines you will see that. There is the darkness, but there is something trying to push it to come up. The beginning of creation. Calling the adventure of consciousness and joy.
And joy. He adds, and joy.
That's right. Compelled. Yeah. Conquering nature's disillusioned breast. Compelled renewed consent to see and feel.
A thought was sown in the unsounded void. A sense was born within the darkness depths. A memory quivered in the heart of time, as if a soul long dead were moved to live. But the oblivion that succeeds the fall had blotted the crowded tablets of the past, and all that was destroyed must be rebuilt, and old experience labored out once more. All can be done if the God touch is there. A hope stole in that hardly dared to be amid the night's forlorn indifference. As if solicited in an alien world, with timid and hazardous instinctive grace, orphaned and driven out to seek a home, an errant marvel with no place to live, into a far-off nook of heaven there came a slow, miraculous gesture's dim appeal. The persistent thrill of a transfiguring touch persuaded the inert black quietude, and beauty and wonder disturbed the fields of God. A wandering hand of pale, enchanted light that glowed along a fading moment's brink, fixed with gold panel and opalescent hinge, a gate of dreams ajar on mystery's verge. One lucent corner, windowing hidden things, forced the world's blind immensity to sight. The darkness failed and slipped like a falling cloak from the reclining body of a god. Then, through the pallid rift that seemed at first hardly enough for a trickle from the suns, outpoured the revelation and the flame.
Again, the same idea in different words and different poetic images. So, a thought was sown in the unsounded void. Unsounded, unexplored. The void has not yet been explored. It is trying to wake up, but the exploration has not yet taken place. The first signs of exploration would be life. And then what are the possibilities of life? The different forms of life will come on. It's a way of saying the field is being explored. What are the possibilities? Different species, different flora, fauna, the life is there. So, but a thought was sown. So the first, the consciousness, the thought, that is first was sown. It is still not yet a tree. It is just sown. So that was sown in the unsounded void. A sense was born within the darkness depths. So sense is now beginning. And if sense is there, obviously life is there. There can be no sense without life. So that's what he's saying. A thought was sown and a sense was born within the darkness depths. A memory quivered in the heart of time. First of all, he told you that there is
unremembering entity.
And now these days there is a remembering. The memory is slowly coming back. A memory quivered. It is still not yet a real memory. It is just quivering. Okay, just coming up. Okay, in the heart of time. So now, in the inconscient, there doesn't seem to be any time. Just as there is no time and space at the highest level, there is no time and space here. There is a time, but the evolution is so slow. So for millions of years, there was only matter. And then slowly, after millions of years, life came up. So that's a suggestion that heart of time. So now time is there. Okay. As if a soul long dead were moved to live. Again, the same idea. The spirit has come down here and it has died. Now it is wanting to live again. Same idea.
But
the involution and the evolution.
He's giving us a picture of this.
That's right.
And that's why he always uses as if.
Yes.
He's not saying the soul was dead. It's as if
That's right.
the soul.
Yeah. A soul long dead were moved to live. But the oblivion that succeeds the fall had blotted the crowded tablets of the past. Again, another image. When you fall, there is usually a loss of memory. You are shaken up. Amnesia can also come. Nah? So, the oblivion that succeeds the fall of spirit into matter, that's the fall. And so there is a loss of memory. You have forgotten what you were. So that's the oblivion that succeeds the fall, had blotted the crowded tablets of the past. The tablets, again, he is using an image. All the tablets, usually, at least in India, it is like that. I don't know in other places. But when the kings used to pass a law or do something, they used to always have a tablet of stone on which the history was recorded. So these tablets have all been destroyed. That's what he's saying. The record of what you were, there is no more record at all. The loss of memory also. So
in Christianity, Moses brought down those two tablets.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But here, the crowded tablets of the past, okay, had blotted. And which is the past? The involution. That's the past. Now the evolution is to start. So the involution is a past. And all the crowded, there is a huge amount of material that has been forgotten. That's the suggestion. The crowded tablets of the past. And all that was destroyed must be rebuilt. Consciousness is destroyed. It has to be rebuilt. Ananda has been destroyed. It has to be rebuilt. Power has been destroyed. It has to be rebuilt. That's what he's saying. And all that was destroyed must be rebuilt. An old experience labored out once more. Okay? An old experience labored out once more. And all can be done if the God touch is there. So this line is a standalone line.
Yes.
Often it is quoted out of context also.
Yes.
So however difficult the journey, if the God touch is there, everything can be done.
I'd like to ask you about this old experience that is labored out once more. Could it refer to previous births on the earth or previous civilizations on the earth?
I'm not sure what you mean by an old experience.
Yeah.
Labored out once more. If he says an old, the idea is clear, but why is using the word experience is the question.
Exactly.
The old memory is again coming out again. If that was said, then we could understand. But he has used the word experience. An old experience labored out once more. All can be done if the God touch is there. This is a line which everybody should use in their yogic effort. However difficult, okay, it can always be done. All can be done if the God touch is there. A hope stole in that hardly dared to be. So, the meaning is that which hardly dared to be, hardly dared to exist, because this is a non-existence. Some hope came in that this dead thing can become alive again. That's the whole idea. Again, the same idea put in different words. Amid the night's forlorn indifference. Forlorn, pitifully sad and lonely, unlikely to succeed. That's a suggestion of forlorn. Indifference. I've tried enough and I'm not being able to succeed. I'm now indifferent. That's the idea. So difficult is it for the unconsciousness to become conscious.
Yeah.
As if solicited in an alien world with timid and hazardous instinctive grace. So, as if solicited in an alien world. You know nothing about that world. It is something that is not there at all. And yet you are trying to get it to wake up with timid and hazardous instinctive grace. He has used the word grace, something beautiful. Instinctive. Instinctive is an effort to do the right thing without much knowledge. That's the instinct in animals. They do the right thing, but without knowledge and without consciousness. So that's the suggestion. Hazardous instinctive grace. Orphaned and driven out to seek a home. The spirit has been orphaned and expelled from its kingdom and it has come down here. And now it is trying to seek a home. The orphan has been thrown out of his home and is trying to seek a home. Who is the orphan? Consciousness which has become unconsciousness. The spirit which has come into matter. He is the orphan. This is the idea in most of our Indian epics also. The story of Ram and Ramayana. In Ramayana, the symbol is very clear. Ram is a king and he is going to be crowned. But then he is expelled and what is it? He is told to go to the forest. What is it? What's the word? He is
No, he's
banished.
banished. Yes.
He is banished
Yeah.
and he has to go to the forest. This is the symbol. And slowly he has to, with a long journey of 14 years, he has to get back his kingdom. So the spirit has banished itself and has come down here and it has to get back to where it came from. The same thing with the Mahabharata also. The Pandavas have lost their kingdom due to foolish acts of gambling. Okay, you have lost your kingdom and now you have to get it back. So that's a suggestion. So often you have been orphaned and driven out to seek a home. Spirit has to get back to its home.
Now we have many commas here.
Yeah.
And so it's 6 lines before we get to the full stop.
Yeah. You put a comma in many places. An errant marvel with no place to live. Okay. So it's marvel, but there's no place to live. It is seeking a home, so there's no place to live. Into a far off nook of heaven there came a slow, miraculous gesture's dim appeal. So it is still miraculous, but very slow, and it's a dim appeal. And what's the gesture? The attempt to find the home again. The errant marvel, full of oxymorons everywhere.
Yes.
It's a marvelous thing, but it is errant.
Yes.
With no place to live. But it found a small nook somewhere.
A nook. Yeah.
So again, the beginning of creation. Okay. Somewhere it has come. Slowly you have found a home. It's not really a home yet, but there's a small corner which you have been able to wake up. Okay. Into a far off nook of heaven there came a slow, miraculous gesture's dim appeal. The persistent thrill of a transfiguring touch. So, the first signs of life have come. The transfiguring touch persuaded the inert black quietude. Again, the same thing. Inert black quietude is inconscient. Persuaded, getting it to come. Okay, persuading. And beauty and wonder disturbed the fields of God.
A beautiful line.
This is a
Such a
fantastic
beautiful line.
Beauty and wonder never disturb. It raises you. But here it is disturbing the fields of God, the fields of the inconscient. It is forcing it to do something it doesn't want to do. Okay? And beauty and wonder disturb the fields of God. a wandering hand of pale enchanted light. So again, it's a wandering hand, not sure of itself. Pale, enchanted light. There is light, but it's very pale still. Again, the same idea. The beginning of creation.
And still it's enchanted.
Yeah. Of pale, enchanted light that glowed along a fading moment's brink. Again, you can see it is glowing, but it's only a fading moment and on the brink. The whole idea is that it's very difficult for this to come out. Fixed with gold panel and opalescent hinge. Opalescent showing many points of colors, shifting colors against a dark or pale background. This is what the word opalescent means.
The opal gem.
Yeah, that's right. So
shows all those colors.
Showing many points of color, shifting colors against a dark background. Against a dark background. So it's so apt here. The background is the darkness and the light is just beginning to show. A gate of dreams ajar on mystery's verge. The gate is slowly opening. That sleep which is there now is coming to dreams. Okay. Force the world's blind immensity to sight. The world's blind immensity, again the inconscient. So this lucent corner, windowing heavens, windowing hidden things. So a small window has opened. It's a small corner. A lucent corner has become a window. Force the world's blind immensity to light. The blind immensity, the inconscient again. And it is forcing it into sight. Wake up. The darkness failed and slipped like a falling cloak from the reclining body of a god. So now the darkness is disappearing slowly. Then, through the pallid lift that seemed at first hardly enough for a trickle from the suns, outpoured the revelation and the flame. It's beautiful poetry, not very easy to understand, but the basic theme you can understand. The involution, the spirit coming down and involving itself in its own darkness. Why? Because of the great adventure. It wants to create the maximum difficulty for itself and escape from that and enjoy the challenge. That's a great adventure. So this is the description of the involution and the evolution. And the evolution is very, very difficult and very, very slow in the beginning. Yet it will succeed because God touches there. So that's the whole idea. It's the night and the dawn. So we have the title of the canto, the symbol dawn.
Symbol dawn.
Yeah, it's a symbol. The symbol of the beginning of evolution.
No one has ever explained it like this, in such beauty and such marvelous
And Srivastava is very
words.
fond of this dawn. In Ilian also, he has started the whole poem with that. Dawn in her journey eternal.
Yes.
So and dawn, even in Life Divine, he has quoted many places the dawn. Okay.
And Usha.
Yeah.
Many places.
Yeah. The dawn is the beginning of light from the darkness. So he has used that also as a symbol for here, the beginning of creation.
Thank you, Rang. Namaste all.